Good morning and welcome back to my channel. We're not out in the garden yet, but we will be soon. I need to get some bed sheets out. We have a freeze warning for tonight, which means it's going to get like 35 or 34, but my yard tends to get a little bit colder than the forecast says, and when the Alexa tells me that there's a freeze warning, I'm going to cover up a few things. So we're upstairs going to go grab some sheets, but I also wanted to take a peek. Let me turn the camera around, give you a good aerial view. The garden's looking nice today. We had a bunch of rain yesterday, and we're supposed to get some more thunderstorms tonight. So let's go grab those bed sheets. I don't know how many I'm going to need, so I'm just going to take them all. All right, I'm ready. I'll bring these downstairs so that I can put them out later. We are actually supposed to still get another 3 or 4 hours of rain this afternoon. So that should finish right before sunset. And then we will go outside and cover plants. Okay, here we are outside. We've gotten a little more than 24 hours straight of rain. So everything is wet, but happy. How fun are brassica leaves. Look at, there's a big old puddle right there on that one. Having a little bit more fun than I should with water on leaves. But if you can't have fun in the garden, then what's the point? Get through here without getting too wet. I brought my harvest basket out, and my goal today is to get as many peppers as I can so that they don't freeze if we do get a freeze. So first thing we're going to do is pick a bunch of these banana peppers. I would like to leave them a couple more days, weeks maybe, but I don't want them to freeze, so we're going to take them now. These are some of the better sized peppers I've gotten all year, so I'm happy about that. Alrighty. I also wanted to see if there were any shishito peppers that are ready, but other than a few that are turning red prematurely, it doesn't really look like there's much. Maybe a couple. You have to forgive my voice today. I've got a bit of a cold. It's mostly my sinuses, but apparently it's affecting my voice a little bit. Just a few. I'll be covering up this bed, these 2 pepper plants, not the whole bed. Brassicas like the cold, but I will be covering up these 2 pepper plants. I can see a couple of banana peppers on the other side that are ready, so we'll go around the other side. But up here, there's a couple of little ones. There's a lot of blossoms, so I'm really hoping that this freeze warning is just a warning and doesn't actually freeze, because it would be nice to let those peppers actually get big. But it is January 8th, so I can't really be selfish and expect my peppers to last forever. I keep pulling off bits of leaves with it. That's annoying. These are some good peppers, though. A lot of them had the blossom on them still, and then it got wet in the rain, so now it just looks really yucky, but that's okay. There's a couple more little ones. I'm not going to take those. All right, I think that one's good. Now we're going to move over to the other bed and take what we can. It's going to be a little bit difficult covering these whole beds, but I am going to focus mainly on the Anaheim peppers because those are the ones I care most about, and the Nata Pino as far as covering them goes. I am going to harvest a lot of these Nata Pinos though, even though I would really like to wait for them to get red. I'd rather harvest them green than lose them because it gets cold. So, oh, there's a red one in there. There's at least that. I'm going to have to find a way to separate these from the jalapenos if I see any that are harvest worthy, because I don't want to mix that up. I had mentioned in my last video that I had made dehydrated green peppers and then ground them down into a basically green chili powder. And I used some Nata Pino and some of the Big Jim, these guys over here. And then mostly Anaheim. But that seasoning turned out really good, so I'll start another round of that. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm going to start another round of that in the dehydrator today with some of these peppers. I missed the basket on one and now I can't see where it landed. Maybe I didn't miss, I don't know. I've already used a lot of the green chili powder that I made in some seasoning blends, so I want to make some more. And I guess the frost is just as good of an excuse as any to come out here and pick some peppers to do that with. I'm going to leave some of the smaller ones still, because if it doesn't freeze tonight, then I still want them to get bigger, and if it does, then that's okay. I don't mind losing a few. Oh, Pippin's Golden Honey. We harvested a lot of these. Oh, took the whole branch with that. We harvested most of these when they were ripe a few days ago, so there aren't too many ripe ones. And honestly, I'm not even going to cover the plant because there are not a lot of fruit on here after I pick these orange ones. And even if there were, I don't particularly care for this plant as much as some of my others. So if I have enough sheets, I'll cover it. If not, I won't. But you will see later in this video if I do that. We're out here in the morning. It's about 11, a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. And we're supposed to get thunderstorms from about 1 to 4 p.m. So I wanted to get this done before it starts to storm again, because picking in the rain would not be fun. And then, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, and then we'll come back out after it rains. Hopefully it stops raining before sunset. And then we can cover the stuff that we want to cover. Yeah, plant looks like it's been picked pretty clean. I do believe that is an Edgevarsky pepper. This is only like the second or third one I've gotten. Or second or third and fourth one that I've gotten. That's exciting. I'm glad they're starting to turn red, because those ones are really sweet when they're red. Alright. These blots on this plant are really, really little, but there are some Big Jim. This actually might be a Jaworski. But either way, we're picking them. That's one that I haven't seen before. Probably a Jaworski. Possibly Lesia. See, I need to be a lot better about labeling next year, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just picking whatever's ready or whatever's big. I'm gonna have a lot of big gems, but they turned into a good powder, even though I don't like them raw. So let me set you up over here so I can get these big gems picked. I'm gonna move over here, see if there's any Anaheim. There are a lot down here that are just too small. And that makes me sad. Because if you harvest them small, then they don't taste any good. But if you leave them on there and wait, then they might die. So I'm gonna go in behind the plants and see if I can get a couple more. I mean, I guess that's gardening, isn't it? Can't get too upset when seasons change and stuff actually freezes. But I'm trying to be positive and pretend like it's not happening, even though I'm prepping anyway. There's a bunch of big gems back here. Some really good sized ones. I'm laughing to myself about how many times I've said that I'm not going to harvest these green. And yet, here I am, harvesting all of these green. But I did find a good use for them green, so there's a couple big Anaheims back here. I don't know how I'm going to actually cover everything with all of these strings, but I'm going to do my best. And worst case, the tops of the plants can get some damage, but the plants themselves will still survive. So I'll be sure to bring you out here after and show you what the aftermath looks like. Alright, here's where we're at so far. And I don't think I missed any. I'll bring you in close and you can let me know if you see any that I didn't see. Yes, I see that one. It's not big enough. Alright, let's go over to the other pepper bed and see if there's anything worth grabbing. There's an Anaheim plant over here. And this Anaheim plant has absolutely exploded. Look at all these blossoms. There's a very, very good sized Anaheim plant. It's putting on some good peppers. Let's see, those ones are jalapeno. I'm not gonna take, I'll take this one. That's a good size. I'll put them in my pocket so they don't get mixed up with the jalapeno. But I don't think there's gonna be anything on these plants that my boys picked clean last week, the week before that, whenever it was. There's a good Anaheim over there. I'll take that small one too. There's another good size jalapeno. Whoops. Oh, I almost dropped that one on the floor. My initial plan for this video was going to be potato harvest and ginger harvest. See, there's the potatoes. They'll probably get some damage tonight, but they're ready to be harvested. And can't harvest them when they're wet, so that's going to be a next week thing. We're going to have to cover up that tomato, which is fine. I have bed sheets. Grab these cayennes. I'm going to pick both colors as long as they're big enough. See, these are big enough. Put these ones on the tip. Oops, I broke the branch. I'm going to harvest them. Just kidding. I was going to say they're too small, but I broke the branch, so it doesn't matter. Whoops, I got that whole branch, so it looks like we're getting some little ones too. I'm gonna have to remember not to touch my face after this. A couple of them are losing their tops and my fingers are gonna be spicy. This plant is so prolific, but the branches are also very brittle. I'm losing a bunch of them. Bringing a bunch of leaves in the house, but that's okay. That plant is looking pretty bare now. I don't think I missed any that were really a good size. We got lots of cayennes in there on top of those other guys. Let me check this side of the Anaheim to see if there's anything good. This pole has a jalapeno on it, but this one back here is the Anaheim. I don't see anything that I can't leave. That one will be a lot easier to cover because it doesn't have anything tying it to the support system above it. I'm gonna sneak in here real quick. I'll grab a couple of blots and half a blot plant apparently. There's a blot. And there's a blot. I think there's one more under there. Yeah, there is. Oh, there's one more. Alright, 4 blots. And there's lots of bells on here that are not going to be ready. And I don't like an immature bell pepper, so I'm not even going to bother. But I am going to take this one. It's a good size. Ooh, that one's an even better size. Good big pepper. Maybe we'll have fajitas for dinner. Ooh, there we go. That guy was hiding in there. We hadn't seen him before. And then there's one more under this brassica leaf. Alright. I don't think there's any more, but this plant could surprise me. Oh, I do see one more. It's a little bit on the smaller end, but we'll take it. Well, that was a good surprise. I didn't know there were that many bell peppers in there. Alright, that is all for harvesting. We'll come back out after the rain and we'll put on some bed sheets. The majority of the stuff growing, the garlic, the brassicas, The peas, the onions, they don't need to be covered. They can handle some cold. This whole tower should be perfectly fine. If it does freeze, then the green beans aren't going to be happy. But the peas are going to taste sweeter, so even if there's any, like this one right here, I'm not harvesting them today. I'm going to wait till tomorrow because after some super cold tonight, they will taste better. Alright, it's later. As forecasted, we got some good rain, and looks like a couple of things blew over. But the storm has passed, and the sky is blue. And I have an armful of bed sheets to go throw over the pepper plants and the tomatoes after I put this back. I probably could do something to make that stay a little better, but I have an armful of blankets, like I said. Bed sheets, not blankets. So, I'm gonna set you up over here and let you watch me cover up some plants. Alright, first I'm gonna come over here and do the banana pepper and the shishito that's under it. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. I put some clips on it. I'm actually going to put one more clip just to hold it in place on that tomato cage. But it's covered all the way to the soil. Then I wrapped it around the back side and clipped it together at the back. So, look, I found that pepper I dropped earlier and couldn't find. It's funny. Next, I'm going to cover this tomato. I have those 3 volunteer tomatoes that are over by the green bean arch, and I'm not going to do anything with those. They can just survive if they survive, and then die if they die. That one looks good. It's clipped on there. Now to see what can be done about these pepper plants. Alright, now we're going to do this bed. And actually, I need to do my jalapeno. I really want to keep that. It's nice that the plant is just that one tall piece and not a big bush. I made that one be the easiest one to wrap. Over here, I closed up as many of the spaces as I could. I might come through and put a couple more little clips, but it's covered all the way on the inside, and it's covered all the way on the outside. So the other ones that I want to try to save are some of the jalapenos. So I need to run back inside and grab one more sheet and then come out here and do that. All right, here it is. Alright, that one was not perfectly on everything, but it's covering the jalapeno plants that I'm most concerned about. And I was able to get it to cover some of that tomato plant, but not all of it. So if it survives, then awesome. If not, then that's okay too. There's that basil plant right there. That'll be our guide to see if it actually freezes, because if it does, then that one will be the first thing to go. And this is the last plant I want to cover because it has some tomatoes on it. I would like to save those, even though the plant is already looking pretty terrible. But yeah, let me get my last bed sheet. Throw it over the top of the tomato cage. Plenty of room. Alright, that's all done. Looks like a little blue ghost. And got these guys all tucked in for the night. I spent most of the day processing those peppers that we picked this morning. So I will put in some video clips of things I did with those. I used a few of them in some white beans. I used the slap chop to chop them up. And then I realized I could use the slap chop to chop all of the green ones. And I got those ones loaded into the dehydrator. So we have a full dehydrator load of the green chilies for green chili powder because that turned out so delicious. And then with the banana peppers, I pickled them. And I got 5 jars. I could have gotten 4 if I stuffed them, but that's alright. I got 5 jars of the banana pepper rings. Here is our pre-frost warning garden. The forecast was originally for 33 degrees, and now it looks like it might actually be more like 36 or 37. So we might not even have needed any of this, but better safe than sorry. And I will let you know tomorrow. Bye.